what's up? This is the Morning Momentum. My name is Richie, and I'm the lead pastor here at Movement Church in Tipp City, Ohio.
I'm Ethan, and I am the media director here at Movement.
And we love being able to start your week off with you. It is Monday morning, and man, I will tell you this. I really enjoyed the 50-degree weather we had this past week, and I know it got a little bit chilly, but I'm telling you what, the warm-up that we have coming this week is going to be a great one.
I'm really enjoying it. I wasn't here this past weekend, though. I was in Virginia. It was actually, I think it was in the 40s and 50s, a little breezy, but, you know.
And how did that go?
It was fun. Me and my siblings went around and walked around like D.C. and things like that. And so, you know, hung out.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you fly?
I did fly. I left Friday night, and I got back Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm here now
Well,
doing
that's
this.
good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you had a good trip, and that's exciting stuff. And I'm telling you what, I saw on Facebook, this is pretty exciting stuff. There's a couple golf courses in town that are looking to possibly open up this week with it being in the 50s.
You think you'll go?
I would say that I would love to go, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not into carrying my golf bag everywhere, and most of them will probably be open for walkers.
They should. Have you seen those golf bag motorcycles?
I have seen those. They're pretty awesome.
I think it's in Ohio. I think it's in like northern Ohio.
I don't know.
You
They
should
look like
see if you could buy one. I wonder if they'd let you bring them on any course.
I don't know. There's a couple of courses that you can get them at around here, I've heard. But they got a couple different ones. You got like the skateboard looking ones that you can ride on that way. They've got like the Segway type bags as well. I've seen the scooter option. There's all sorts of options. But nobody wants to carry their bag. And besides that, then you're out there and you put it on a bag dolly, and what do you have? You got mud everywhere, stuck in holes, whatever. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not about that life. If I'm going to go golfing, it's going to be with the cart.
You should get a caddy.
You know what?
I think in the contract, your executive pastor legally has to be your caddy when you go golfing.
I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. And we usually go golfing together.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right. So you said my media director should be the caddy.
That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
That's not at all what
I heard
I
the
said.
media director would love to be the caddy. And,
No. You misheard me.
Speaking of golf, did you ever watch that movie, Happy Gilmore?
I haven't seen that movie.
You've never seen that movie?
No.
You should see it.
Maybe. I feel like it's, I'll watch it at some point.
You got to see that. You got to see Shooter McGavin. And, yeah, there's all sorts. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. I like Billy Madison Productions.
I don't know. Adam Sandler it's just, I don't know, cheesy.
That's what I like about it.
When you see Billy Madison Productions, it's like, you already know what the movie's going to be.
You know what I love about it, though? Is the guy, like, when he does movies, he brings his friends.
That's what makes it so, like, not interesting. It's always the same people, and it's always the same, like, Adam Sandler, and it's like a family problem, but in the end, he always gets the girl, and his friends are there at the same time.
I wouldn't say every movie is like that.
Most of them. They're all pretty similar. Except for maybe Uncut Gems.
There's some good ones. So, but I you know what, though? If I was a millionaire like him producing my own movies, I'd probably want to do it with my friends as well.
I guess that's true. Have you seen him? He, plays basketball.
He plays basketball. What I love about him is that, he lives in New York, and he's always, spotted out walking around. And he never wears designer anything. Right. He's just chill. He's got, the Walmart sweatpants on.
His shirts are huge.
And his shirts are gigantic.
He walked so Billie Eilish could run.
I love it. But he's a No, but I think he's pretty cool though. So, but anyways, enough about him. It's Monday morning, and I don't know about you, but I just for some reason I dread Mondays, and I don't know if it's because it's like I'm back to waking up early again, or I don't know.
Well, I don't do. What do you do? Do you do anything on Mondays?
I do actually. Usually, a lot of pastors, their day off is Monday. But my wife's day off is on Wednesdays, and so I usually take Wednesdays off to spend with her. And so I work.
Smart.
Yeah, so I usually do Monday and Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of Wednesdays. You never really get a time off. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean?
I'm not a pastor, but I mean, I guess it makes sense.
But
I don't
it's
like
cool,
Mondays. No.
No, my dread is that's when I got to get back up early to get Peyton on the bus. And so he gets on the bus at like 6:50 a.m.
That's
and
so
so
early.
yeah, but I got a good routine down. Wake up, let the dog out, wake Peyton up, feed the dog, take the dog back outside, start the car. You got to let it heat up a little bit. I'm not about that life of sitting in a frozen car.
That's what I do.
And and then about 15 minutes later, we go get in the car and head to the bus stop, sit around for anywhere from 1 minute to like 20 minutes. You never know when this bus driver is going to show up. Then I get back home, I get the other two kids up, and start the whole cycle over again.
Wow. You don't have to heat your car up, though.
That's true, unless it's really cold. There was the one morning not too long ago that it was like negative degrees, and I heated my car up both times I went out.
I never rode the bus going to school.
Really?
Really. Because my mom was a teacher.
Okay.
So I was always at school like 30, 40 minutes early.
That sucks.
It did suck.
Yeah. I rode the bus, and when I was in high school is when the school district first got a school bus with a radio in it. And
That's interesting. What'd you listen to?
At that point, there were 2 radio stations that we listened to. For those of you listening, grew up in the 90s and 2000s, you remember Z93. And then we had 94.5, The Beat. And so those stations, you would listen to a little bit of Matchbox 20 going on. Z93, they had the same 20 songs playing over and over and over again. It was pretty ridiculous. But The Beat, you'd get like Casey and JoJo. You get a little bit of that happening, some Boys to Men, R&B kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you get a little good Charlotte or something like that happening. But yeah,
I think we should make like a radio intro to this show.
ooh, that would be cool.
It'd be like, welcome back to 93.7 MVMT. This is the Morning Momentum.
Look at you.
I'm
getting all
killing
crazy
it right
here.
now.
I know.
It worked well.
And if you were here, or you might have missed it, I mean, we're talking, this was awesome. This was a week ago. We had Super Bowl Sunday here at the Movement.
That was insane.
And Ethan was the commentator.
I was. Always
and
am.
this guy, he's missed his call because he could be broadcasting professional sports, I believe.
I don't know about that.
Did an awesome job. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go to YouTube and you can get on there and you can watch it. But man, we had craziness going on.
It was crazy.
We did team preaching that day. It was very spontaneous. What's going on? What are you going to get? We did Bible verses, and then the second half we did objects from women's purses, and that was scary.
It was dicey.
You never know what's going to come out, and it was crazy. Doug gets a bottled water.
Light work.
And then, but slayed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it set up the baptism perfect. It was exactly what needed to happen.
Yeah.
And then, dude, like I just got to ask the question. And if you've seen the video, if you were here live, you might have had the same question that I have had. And maybe I should have gotten an answer about this. I got a bath bomb.
Yeah.
Who carries bath bombs in their purse?
Maybe they were planning on using it in the baptism.
I don't know.
Maybe they were like thinking ahead.
But I saw like a little bit later, laying on the floor, a second bath bomb. So they had multiple bath bombs
Always got to be prepared.
in their purse.
I've never used a bath bomb.
I've never even seen one really go. I made up everything that I said that day. I just assumed
made it
that's
all
how
up.
it goes.
Well,
I could
it
have been
worked.
completely wrong, but nobody called me out on it.
Must have been right.
But I don't know. Like, I would assume that person walking around with bath bombs probably also had like a bar of soap, maybe some shampoo. You know, they just never know when they're going to stumble across a bathtub that they're going to.
Well, I feel like bath bombs are more not about your hygiene, but about relaxation, right? Isn't that its kind of thing?
I guess.
But that's pretty risky to like carry it around with you because you never know.
You like walk in
fall into some water. And then they
my
just
thought
go.
is, like, what do? Do you just go to somebody's house for a party and, like, sneak away to their bathtub, drop a bath bomb in?
and use it.
And it'd be that house that has the one bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd be just...
They'd be, like, knocking on the door, and you'd be like, hang on. You'd have, like, candles.
Yep, they got candles lit. They brought some rose petals in. They're just enjoying their bath
Yeah.
in their friend's house. Don't ever do that at my house. We'll knock the door down. Be embarrassing for everybody.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. We only have one bathroom, and it's the worst. Do you guys have multiple bathrooms?
We have a bathroom and a half bath.
See, I would go for that. I'd go for an outhouse, but it never fails. You jump in the shower, you're going to the restroom or something like that, and somebody comes knocking on the door.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yep.
And so Owen's gotten smart. He's going to get a shower. What's he do? He runs around the house. Anybody got to go to the bathroom? Got to go to the bathroom? You need to go to the bathroom? And it's like, dude, the kid's smart. But then, you know, Carly comes knocking about 5 minutes later. I got to go. I didn't have to go then.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Do you experience everyone trying to take a shower at the same time with your kids?
We, no, because my kids have to be forced to shower.
Okay.
And so we do, like, 7 o'clock rolls around, and we're like, all right, first kid get in the shower, second kid get in the shower, and then third kid get in the shower. And so we get the schedule going. And then every once in a while, like, we throw, like, Kristen or myself in the mix, and all of a sudden you've got, like, it's crazy.
When I was growing up, it was always insane with my siblings. Because it was always like, you'd be sitting there, and you have your clothes outside the door. Because you're like, I'm next. But then, like, that door opens, and they walks in, and it's like, no, I'm next. And you run in there, slam the door. We always had it queued up. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Madness.
We had, growing up, we had 3 bathrooms, all with showers.
That's crazy.
And so showers were never much of an issue. I took the downstairs shower, and I might have been the only one to use that shower. I can't remember.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So it's pretty sweet, though. So it's Monday morning. I hope that you showered this morning before heading into work.
Do you shower in the morning or in the evening?
I shower after the gym. So usually in the morning.
Okay.
So I'll wake up, I'll head to the gym after dropping the kids off, and then come home, get a shower, and then start the day off. So
I feel like when you start the day with a shower, you feel more refreshed.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes I just feel like, man, I got to shower before even going to the gym, and then I come home and shower again.
That's a waste of water.
But it is. Sometimes it's just, it was a rough weekend. You realize, crap, it's been 2 days since I've had a shower, and you just feel like you'll stink the place up.
I mean, I guess that if that's the case, then yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to be that guy.
Nope.
Speaking of, I just got to say this before we jump into this.
Okay. We're delaying this a lot.
We're going to jump into this, though. So I was at the gym this past week, and it was raining outside.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say this. Ladies, if you're listening to this right now, rain boots are not proper gym attire. You know, it's and every one of the women that were in the, I mean, I'm telling you, there was at least 7 to 8 women in the gym with rain boots on, and every single one of them had a tumbler in their hand with a straw in it. Like, I'm sorry,
weird.
but like, that's so basic.
You can't work out in rain boots.
I don't know what you're doing. Like walking on the treadmill, you hear.
Were they like rain boots or duck boots?
What's the difference?
Rain boots are like the big yellow rubber ones, and duck boots are like the.
No, these were designer.
Okay.
These were designer. Yeah. And the one woman that had snow boots on. It's like, come on, get with the game. So
that's great.
Anyways, I just thought I'd say that. But hey, this past Sunday was a good Sunday. We're talking about the armor of God. And in Ephesians chapter 6, it talks about 6 pieces of armor. And this past week, we talked about 3 of the pieces. The first 3 are really designed to always keep on. I've always heard this to be said true, like, you should wake up in the morning. And there's different, I don't want to say they're cliche, because that's not what I'm saying by any means, but they're just things that people will say. Like, hey, every morning I wake up, and I take up my cross. I take up my cross daily. So every morning I wake up, and that's what I do, is I throw the cross on my back. Or some people will say, like, hey, I wake up in the morning, and I put my armor of God on, and I'm ready for the day. And that's cool, because sometimes we need that reminder, that physical reminder of, okay, where is my life going to be geared towards today? And I think it's kind of in the realm of, like, every morning I wake up, I do a little bit of prayer, I talk to God, start my day, get into some scripture. I have, I don't know if you do this, but, like, I really like getting the daily Bible verse from the Bible app. And what it does, every day it just gives me a different verse to look at. But it's like, that reminder, that push, okay, where are you going to be today as you start your day off? And I think one of the coolest things about when you start looking at the armor of God. Now, when you dive through Scripture, you're going to realize that there's more than really 6 pieces of armor, but Paul really sums it up into 6 pieces. And when he talks about the armor, he's really talking about the Roman Empire type armor that you would see. You go to a live nativity and you see the guys that are out there in leather skirts. That's what we're talking about here. And so Ethan and I were just talking about this a little bit ago, but he starts off with talking about how you fight your battles, and a lot of what we've been talking about in this Thin Space sermon series has been about these different battles that we have. And so we looked at Elijah quite a bit in his life, because we see battles that he was able to stand strong in. We saw battles where he fell down and he hid and didn't want to go through it anymore. We found battles where he went through the wilderness, and found battles where he was going to find somebody, and he's being a tool for God and being used by God in big ways. And so we see all these different things that we experience in our life, but then we ask the question, how do we get through with these things? And so how do we defeat Satan when he comes after us? Because, I don't think there's ever a day that goes by that Satan's not trying to come after you and get you back. And so it's like, okay, how do I continue to defeat this? Because it's very clear that we can't do it alone. We need God. And so Paul says this, and we'll talk about this a little bit this morning, is he talks about the first piece of armor that you put on is that he says this: stand firm in this with the belt of truth buckle around your waist. And so he starts off with the belt, because the belt is so important.
Very important.
So I learned this the other day about Roman guards. Okay? So do you know people that have Crocs? Do you have Crocs? You don't wear Crocs.
I don't have Crocs.
They're not allowed in my house.
Really?
Yeah, they're a thing of the devil.
I've never had any though, so I don't really know if they're comfortable. But I can't imagine they're that comfortable.
Yeah, no thank you for me. No thank you for me. But if you're a Croc wearer, you know that you have...
Don't listen to our podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Please
do.
They do, they've got sport mode, and then they've got like leisure mode.
I've heard race mode as well versus sport mode.
Okay, race mode. Either one. Okay, so you've got that going on, and that was kind of like the Roman guards and their skirts. So they would wear their skirts, and they would actually hang below their knees when they were just chilling. So going through normal life,
sagging their pants.
Yeah, they dropped them down. They were below their knees. That was kind of, hey, I'm in leisure mode. I'm just hanging out. I'm by the beach, getting a tan, whatever it is that they're wanting to do. And then comes battle mode.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so they had the belt, and what they would do is they would lift the skirt above their knees so that the skirt wouldn't get in their way whenever they're running and they're fighting in a battle.
Like the bottom of their skirt.
Exactly. And so they would lift it up. So they went from, a nice little dress to a micro mini skirt. And
Ready for battle.
They were ready for battle in their mini skirt now. And the belt is what held their skirt up. Mm-hmm. And so if it wasn't for the belt, then their skirt would be falling down below their knees and they would be tripping up and getting in the way. But the belt played another factor as well into this, because a lot of times we think of, the big armor, the breastplate that they had, and it was held up from the shoulders. Well, it was. They had some shoulder straps, but that's not what took the bulk of the weight. Actually, when you looked at the armor that they used back then, that belt strap was integrated. It was a part of that breastplate, that chest plate. And so when the belt was tight, it would keep the breastplate on, it would keep their skirt where they needed to be, and it would keep everything squared away. And so the reality of it comes down to this, is that when he says that you need to stand firm with the belt of truth, the true reality of this is that you need to know what the truth is about you and about what you believe. And so think about this. You're in college. And the unfortunate part about college, and this is sad, is that college students have a pretty high rate of suicide. And there's a lot of stressors that come into it. And when you're dealing with college and you're dealing with finals and the pressure that we put on ourselves for that, and a lot of times it's because of what it is that we label ourselves with. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times we find ourselves labeling ourselves with, I'm stupid, or I'm dumb, or I'll never be able to amount to this, or all these different things that we kind of label ourselves with. And it really seems to hurt. I mean, what's your thoughts on that whenever it comes down to being a college student, going through this? We've talked a little bit about the pressures that you deal with and different things with that. So talk for a moment about that.
Wow. Well, that's a crazy question. I can't speak for other people.
No.
But I think it can be like, I never personally felt like, I'm so stupid because I can't do that because I'm so smart, right?
Yes.
But for me, it's kind of like when you have all this stuff piled up on your plate, it kind of seems more like, well, if this is all I'm doing, like, this is my life. I'm not actually doing anything for myself. I just have a bunch of work and a bunch of assignments that I'm turning in, and it's just the cycle that I keep doing over and over again. Who am I actually, like, as a person? Because I'm so focused on school, and I think that's kind of where it gets into it. Is it influences so much of the personal life that you start to not have a personal life, to where then it affects your mind, and it's like, well, I don't want the schoolwork, so I don't want the life. And it kind of connects it to one when really it shouldn't be one. It should be, well, I have my life, but I'm also trying to educate myself with this instead of having it such a heavy load and making it the center of your life. I think that's kind of where that connection comes in.
Yeah, and so then when you have that relationship with Christ and you understand the truth, that's the hard part, is that I've talked about this before, even with myself. Like, Satan will come after you and give you these bits of knowledge that aren't even true about yourself. Mm-hmm. There's been times that I've walked off the stage after preaching where I was ready to quit because I just felt like I wasn't even remotely close to being able to be up here. And I would let Satan just mess with my head that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't going to amount to anything. But the true reality of it is that God called in big ways. And I think a lot of times that we let those things kind of dictate the way that we live our life. And so when Paul talks about the first thing is throwing that belt of truth on, is to know and to understand and to acknowledge the truth of life. And that is that Jesus is your Savior, and that anything else that has defined you is null and void at that point.
Yeah. And
so when we talk about this is one of those things that you don't take off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a shield you can put down, a sword you can put down. But this belt, you need it. And so Paul talks about that. And then he goes from that to, he talks about with the breastplate of righteousness. And you got to make sure that's in place. And so what does that righteousness look like? And so, we use the big churchy word, justified. We're justified through Christ. We've asked for forgiveness in our life, and we've repented, and we've given our lives to Christ. And so when you do that, you have to live your life in a different way. You're changed at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when it's a decision that you should change your life around, because I think a lot of people, when that decision is made, they want it to be like just a quick fix. It's like, okay, well, I repented, now everything's different. Mm-hmm. But it's the decision to repent, and then it just keeps building around that. Okay, now I need to work to make sure my life is the right way.
Absolutely. And the last part of this was that he says that your feet need to be fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. And so the main thing that comes from this is just simply, and we started the whole series of Thin Spaces off with this, is talking about where does your peace come from. Mm-hmm. And what we realized and really learned was that our peace is within us. And if we truly have Jesus in our life, then that peace is something that's a part of us. And so many times we find ourselves, if you remember that analogy I used, where we find ourselves like chasing after a tail, trying to figure out, okay, where's my peace at? Where I need to find peace. Well, it's already a part of you. And so that readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, that that the words that you've read are the words that give you peace and give you life. And so I think it's so important to keep those three things on when you go through life, when you go through your Monday, because Mondays aren't easy.
Nope.
And I think that if we go at it and we sit here and say, okay, what does this look like for us? And how does this look like in our fight to stay true to who it is that we're called to be? Then God can use us in pretty large ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I'm excited for you guys and your Monday. I know that it sounds like a bummer, but I'm telling you, what's cool about Mondays is that means that there's only 2 days left until the Wednesday shift.
That's right.
And you get to be a part of that and hear that. I didn't even think about this, but today, do you know what today is?
No.
Today's President's Day.
Is it?
Some of you might not even be working today.
That's true. I will be at school still.
You guys have to go to school on President's Day?
Yes.
That's a bummer. My kids are out of school.
Yep.
But some of you might not even be working today. But for those of you who are stuck working, going to school, you're only 2 days away from Wednesday, and you're only 4 days away from Friday.
Friday's fun.
And Friday is fun day because
we're back here having fun.
7 a.m.
with
on
you.
Fridays, the morning momentum. And so you're 3 days away from Friday Eve. You are 4 days away from the morning momentum coming back at you again. And you're going to have a great week. And we know that you can conquer it when you rely heavily on what God has given you and the tools that God has given you. Mm-hmm. Got any words of wisdom for today before we close out?
I think, you know what? Kind of connecting it to the Wednesday shift with the start of his series. We talked about Friday Eve, but if you look at Mondays, instead of, starting the week and being boring, you can look at it as a fresh start of the week. And it might give you a little bit more, clarity and drive to make it a good week if you know that it's a clean slate.
Love it, man. Well, you guys have a great day today. Conquer the week and stand firm knowing that God has given you the tools to get through it. And I know that you're going to have a great day, a great week ahead of you. Remember, it's all the perspective that you place in, and we know it's going to be a big one for you. So we will see you guys on Friday morning at 7 a.m. with the Morning Momentum.
See you Friday.
See you then. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Richie Griffith, and I am the lead pastor and founding here at Movement Church, Tipp City, Ohio. And this ministry is made possible through your generosity. And that's right, to continue supporting the movement, you can give at the movementchurch.community. That's movementchurch.community. But you need to also make sure that you follow us on social media at the Movement 937. Be sure to hit subscribe and don't forget to hit that notifications bell. Thank you so much for listening today, and God bless you.